If I could only recommend one AI tool to every business in New Zealand, this is the one it would be. It's called Claude, made by Anthropic. And after working with dozens of businesses in New Zealand on their AI implementation, it is far better than ChatGPT or Copilot. In this video, I'm going to cover exactly why Claude is better than Copilot and ChatGPT and the tools that will allow you to run your business more efficiently. I'm Blake, an AI engineer based down in Christchurch, and I specialize in helping businesses with AI adoption. So first up, what actually is Claude? Claude is an AI assistant just like ChatGPT or Copilot, but the people that tend to use a lot of AI use this over those other tools. The team that built this originally came from OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, but their mission was to make AI not only smart, but safe, reliable, and really usable. I started to see a lot of people jump in and start using Claude, and so that's where I decided to give it a test out myself. And I was absolutely mind blown in the responses that it gave me, and it was much better in what I expected the output to be, but also really accurate in terms of what I was asking it. And then I started to play around with all the other tools and features, which I'll talk about in this video, and I've been hooked since. So what are these features that I keep saying are so good? Well, first up is app integration. AI is a garbage in, garbage out system. If it doesn't know much about who I am or my business, the outputs are going to be really generic and basic. And so what we can do with Claude is actually integrate it into our email, our Xero account for billing, our Notion or whatever other CRM or document management system we have. It can connect and see all of that information about our business safely and securely. So then when we ask it to do an output, generate an email, it has all of that context about us and who we are, and it generates it very specific to our use case. So let's see how that works. And so what that means when I go into my Claude interface, it looks just like ChatGPT here, so it's very familiar. If I go onto Add and onto Connectors, you'll see I've got Google Drive, Calendar, Gmail, and Notion. These are the main ones that I use, but also you can go browse connectors and scroll through a huge range of ones that you may be using already in your business, even like HubSpot, for example. And so that means if I get a whole bunch of emails that come in, I want it to go and find emails that I need to respond to and draft them up. It can do that. So for example, I said, hey, Blake, can we meet up on Monday on my other account that's sent to me? And so what I can do is ask it, what does my latest email from Blake say? It can go and pull that information for me. If I have a number of emails that I have unread, it can actually go through and prioritize what I need to respond to. Now that it's told me what I want, it's told me what's in my email. Find an available time on Monday and draft a response. And so because it has my Google Calendar, it can see my availability on Monday. If you click this little part down here, you'll see that it's gone and looked in my calendar, and it's come back that I've got time from 11:30 to 12:30 or 4 p.m. onwards. I've drafted the email response as well, and I can even open that in my mail account and it will automatically go through and I can click send. So I can use this for searching for clients in my CRM, finding emails from weeks ago, looking through my meeting transcripts that AI is transcribing and storing in Drive for me. The possibilities are endless when you actually connect this to the tools that you're working with daily. The other awesome feature inside of Claude is their skills. If you use ChatGPT or Copilot, you'll know about custom GPTs or agents where you give an AI model a set of instructions that it has to follow. The problem there is that you're always copying and pasting in and out of these different agents as you're going along. Claude Skills has the same approach, but this one model can go and pick the skills it needs to use in your one chat, and so you don't have to constantly copy and paste information in and out. How does this look in practice? Well, we can simply ask it, hey, can you help me create a skill for responding to custom emails? And so this means every time I ask it to respond to an email, it will look at the skill that I have set up and use that accordingly, and it will draft it out exactly how I've told it to. What it does is you'll get a pop-up or it'll just ask you to respond and give you a few different questions so it can help craft the skill yourself. You can write them out entirely by yourself, but again, it takes a lot of time, so Claude can actually help you through that process. It's going to be for inbound leads and inquiries, and it needs to match my professional tone. And so what I can do there is copy and paste in some additional information. This is my email tone. This is like the words I like to use or the ones I don't like to use. For the sake of this, we'll just be going through this example here, and it'll go and create this skill for me. Once it's done, a little skill.markdown file will appear, and you can read through and verify all the information in here is correct. It's very easy to get it to create these ones, but it's really important that you go in and edit it to make it sure it's exactly in your tone of voice or what you want it to be doing. Again, providing it more information, the better it's actually going to be. Now that we have the skill set up, putting the same prompt in generates a better result. It goes through and looks at the messages in my Gmail, and it then goes and looks at the skill, as you can see here, reading the customer email response skill, and then it generates an output to match. I have skills of pretty much everything I do in the business, from proposal generation, email responses, documents, brand guidelines, all of the above. Anything you do in your business, you can convert into a skill and actually teach AI to help you out with. Number 3 on the list is Claude Cowork, and this came out earlier in Jan, I think around the 20th this year, but it's a relatively new tool. Basically what this allows Claude to do is have access to a folder inside of your computer, and it can access all those files, whether it's Word, Excel, presentations, and go in there, read them all, understand them, and actually go out and edit or create new files from that. The two use cases that I've used Claude Cowork for have been generating PowerPoint presentations. I can give it a folder with a whole bunch of information around PDFs, Excel documents, Word, absolutely all this information inside of it, and it can collate that and put it into a PowerPoint format. But also comparing huge amounts of documents as well, maybe around insurance policies or quotes. Another cool use case I see a lot of businesses using this for is invoices and receipts. And so, for example, if we've got a messy file of receipts, these are just scraped from Google, what we can do is use Claude Cowork to go through them all, extract the information, and put them into a spreadsheet that you can pass into your accounting software. To do that, you do need the desktop version. There's no additional cost to that. At the top, you'll see Cowork, and you can go work in a folder, and then you go through and choose which folder you want to go to. Not sure why it's so zoomed in there. Go onto receipts, and it's going to ask, can it have permission to work inside this folder? Yes, I'm going to allow it to. So then what I'll ask it to do is go through all of the receipts in the folder, generate an Excel sheet with them all collated together for me to be able to put in my accounting software. Then what it'll do is go away and do that all automatically for me, so we'll see what it comes back with. And so it came back within a minute, and it's actually generated out the spreadsheet, which we can go and view here. We can see the date, the vendor, the category, description, the subtotal, if there's GST or not. Can't see all the way over there if I expand it more. Reference, payment method, all that sort of stuff in there. If it doesn't know or the receipt didn't show it, it clearly states NA or date not shown, so it's not hallucinating or faking data in there. And so this can be uploaded into hundreds of receipts, and it will go away, take its time, go through each, and you get this output at the end while you can go and spend your time doing something else. The fourth one I want to talk about is Claude Artifacts, and this is the ability to create apps inside of Claude using your own natural language. Businesses are using this to generate interactive dashboards from their data, or even induction documentation to full-blown websites as well. An example of this I did was asking it to build an AI ROI calculator for New Zealand businesses. I want them to be able to enter their hourly rate, how many employees, all that sort of information in there, and it actually generates the code for this, and I can run it inside of here. I've got an AI ROI calculator now. I can input an hourly rate. Let's go 70. I've got 20 employees. Each of them save 2 hours per week. And then we've got an annual saving of $145,000. And so what businesses are doing are using these tools to generate small little solutions for the problems that they're having very specific to their business. And they can roll that out really easily if they go up here and go publish artifact and send that on to their staff members to use these tools. This is really good for those traditional ones. Instead of having a whole bunch of Excel spreadsheets, Word documents, all that kind of thing, we can generate these mini apps to help make it more interactive and usable. The last one I want to talk about is Claude Code, and this is for if you do any kind of software or web development, it can pretty much do it all for you. 100% of the code that I develop is now AI generated inside of my business, and a lot of other companies are doing the same. I was speaking to someone from Google recently, and they reckoned that 80% of the code base that is now generated through AI and just human review in the loop. And so it's an insanely powerful tool, especially when you have MCP and you can integrate it to your backend database, your hosting platforms. The more context it has, the better. And even with browser control, where it can go and actually test the functionality of the site that's building out. And if there are errors, it can go back and fix those out. Overall, Claude is the recommendation I have for every business in New Zealand looking to adopt AI. Its integration natively into all of your different systems make it a no-brainer, but also all these additional features in creating artifacts and skills and even the coding out software for you. I'm Blake, an AI engineer that helps businesses across New Zealand with their AI transformation. If you're unsure what your next step is, please reach out in the description below for a free chat and I hopefully can help you. Cheers.